All right, guys. We've got our technology, and I think we're ready to get going. I know about half of you in this room, and about half of you I don't know. So for everyone I don't know, my name is Nellie Dettinger. I am a member of the True Living team here that's headed up by Trudy Westberg. Cindy is actually on our team too. I have been involved with KW for just under 2 years. My 2-year anniversary is going to be in April. And I'm a member of the ALC. Zach was just looking for people to step in today. And I wanted to teach this class today because it's actually one of my biggest untapped assets in my business. My first year, you know, I struggled through like everybody did. And I had about, you know, just under $1 million worth of closed sales. And last year, with intention and by going to Bold and plugging into trainings just like you're doing, I grew my business to $7.5 million. And when I sat down with Zach for my year-end review and telling him my goals, I set a goal for myself for $12 million this year. And a huge part of that is going to be because I'm going to actually create the database, the same thing that we're going to do today together, use it and follow a schedule. And he said, Nellie, those are look at the success you've had by doing the post-it note things and, you know, the full calendar and just constantly flying by the seat of your pants. This is what's going to get you really systematic so you can actually measure your results and know where you're going. So I wanted to teach this class today because it was something that I needed just as much help in as maybe you guys do. And I've really gotten intentional about how I'm tightening this up and created a plan for myself. And I hope that you brought some things with you today to do some actual work, because I want to make really good use of your time and actually get you to walk out of here with something accomplished rather than just a whole bunch of good ideas. We're gonna brainstorm and we're gonna get some good ideas, but I want to take lots of breaks so we can get actual work done. So does anybody need to go and get a computer or a phone? Does everyone have those things? Okay, great. So we're good. I guess for those of you who I don't know, I think I don't really know any of the men in this group. So could you just kind of introduce yourselves a little bit and tell me what you want to get out of today?
Sure. So okay. I'm Ethan. I'm very new to all of this. Yeah, I just signed my paperwork last Friday.
Congrats.
Yeah, thanks. I don't know what I'm hoping to get out of today. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, link's late.
My name is Ben Collins. I'm out of La Crosse. I graduated with a degree in accounting and worked for a CPA firm for the last 5-6 years. I've always been in the real estate from the investment side as far as the rentals and stuff. And I just got tired of submitting tests, so I started getting on full time. So over this last year, I took courses and got now January 1, fully transitioned into Keller Williams, which I did go around and interview with a lot of other different real estate agencies and really kind of pick their favorite. I didn't want to just go work for anyone. Keller seemed to be the best fit for me. So here I am, and as far as this, I don't know, sky's the limit. I'm learning, you know, I'm launching Twitter and Instagram and a Facebook business page, and, you know, I'm like Ethan, I'm still waiting for my license. So trying to do as much as I can, you know, at this point in time. So that's me.
I'm Brad Angan. I've been here since September.
Okay.
I was in the car business 11 years. Money was good, but the stress is not. I want to get into something where I can kind of control my time a little bit better. I sold the house so far, and I have one listing, and kind of a little bit lost as how this all works. I have a huge database from all these people. I've sent them all a flyer already saying that I'm in real estate, and kind of want to get more the next steps to getting this all going.
Okay, great. That's exciting. Susan, I know your story. Cynthia, I know you well. What are you guys hoping to get out of today? Megan, you too.
I'm hoping to get organized because I joined in August, but I kind of said I was going to join in January, but I signed paperwork early, and then I had kids living with us for a while from Florida, and So I'm just trying to get on board too now and just get really organized. I feel like I'm kind of more in the same boat with you three because, you know, I have a buyer's rep agreement signed right now and possible, I've had a couple of appointments for possible listing meetings coming up, but.
And you have lots of contacts from your time working in new construction levels, right?
Yep, I do have that, and just I'm actually tapping into everything. I've taken a lot of classes, guys, like, I mean, different ones, and you don't want to be, I know like Kelly will say, don't be just the class taker, you got to go do. But the classes have been so helpful to me, like Lisa's classes.
Right.
Of getting you out of your comfort zone, feeling like don't just be Minnesota nice, but it's okay to talk to family and friends. But for me, it's just taking me a little while to wrap my mind around how I'm going to do that. And some of that is by talking to other agents here. I've had agents that have given me the freedom now to know how to approach family and friends, because I think that was one of my hardest things, and church family members and things like that. So now I feel like January is hit and I feel like there's not enough hours in the day because I'm just ready to go do all of this, but I need to get very organized and be in a productive way of doing it.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. You too, Meg, you want to get organized?
I need to be more deliberate. So in 2016, I landed in the top 20% of our market center. And I think that then for 2017, I thought, well, I've arrived and it's just going to keep happening. And it didn't. So I needed a plan and something that I need to do every single day. And part of that is just staying in contact constantly with the database. And so getting stuff set up. I now have 2 accountability partners, one in the office and one in Florida, you know, staying on task and checking in and stuff like that. So a big part of it is doing more than just sending that one email out, you know, that goes out automatically once a month.
Right.
So.
Yep. And that's what I really want to talk to you guys about. So a lot of people think that creating this database means that you're going to put 1,920 people, which is the magic number that Gary Keller says that you need to keep in contact with. So here's the theory. If you've ever read the Millionaire Real Estate Agent Guide, they say that if you keep in contact with 1,920 people 33 times over the course of a year, for 3 years, you will be netting $1 million in gross commission income by your 4th year. That's the rubric, that's the formula. And that was taken by, you know, all of the data that's in the MREA. So what Ignite tells you is they want you to come out of this course with 200 people in a database. And what that means is they don't want you to just put 200 people and send them one flyer or put them on an email campaign and set it and forget it. You actually have to come up with items of value, create a system for getting in contact with them, and then doing that consistently. And if you do that a few times a day, if you dedicate a half hour, an hour, 2 hours of lead generation within your database, you're going to see fruit from that. You're going to see fruit from that. So what happens when you don't have a database? You get really disorganized, you lose contacts, you lose opportunities, and you get busy with a few deals, and all of those new people in your pipeline forget about you because you don't have time, you know, to spend with them. So really, I think you all understand the importance of having it. You know, the size of your database dictates the size of your bank account, because that's your main sphere of influence, and those are the people that you have the ability to get in front of whenever you choose to. It also makes, you know, doing calls really, really easy when you can just go in there and you have your numbers and they're organized: buyers, sellers, co-op agents for building profit share, and you know, past clients. You know, I have 4 categories in my database: buyers, sellers, co-op agents, and people that I'm reaching out to join KW and, you know, work on my profit share, and past clients for, you know, referrals. So that's one way that you can start organizing it. And then, you know, you have to look at feeding that database every single time you meet someone. So every single time you meet someone, getting their card and putting them in, you know, your contacts in your phone, just taking a couple of seconds to fill out their information right. I just started focusing on that in the last 6 months, and my contacts were, you know, my iPhone contacts are so much more reliable just because I have way more full emails, full names, full phone numbers, and then I'm writing a little note as to how I know this person and what they need from me now or might need from me in the future. And that is so, so important. So if you just take out your iPhone right now and just look at how many contacts you have in your iPhone, I just checked mine this morning. I have like 495. And that is just, that blows my mind because I feel like I should have, you know, if I would have been intentional about this from the beginning, I might have 800, you know, 700. So that is a great place to start for your 200 contacts. Your other huge source of contacts that's just waiting to be mined is your Facebook page. I have over 2,000 friends on my Facebook. And today I want to take some time and do some work to actually export those names and email addresses into a spreadsheet and either print them out. I have not been successful. If anybody can help me with this, I have not been successful with anything other than just exporting the names with emails to a printable sheet. Trying to convert that to an Excel file, it's like Facebook has a block or something on it. So if anyone can hack around that, but regardless, we can still get them out, and it's going to take a little bit of work to just physically import the names and the email addresses, but it will be so worth it. And you're going to not only get to those 200 contacts super, super quickly, but you'll be well on your way to the 1920. So everyone's heard of the Daily 10-4. Who this week added 10 new contacts, spoke with 10 people, and wrote 10 notes? Who struggles with that? I struggle with that. I did not do that this week. I probably met 10 people. Probably talked to 5 people. I probably added 3 of those people in my database. To be totally honest, you know, that's kind of that was my conversion rate this week. That's what I did. And then writing the notes. The notes is huge, and it doesn't have to be anything big, but it should be something that you work into your routine, even if it's just simple. Hey, I loved our conversation. You know, we should meet up for coffee. I'm going to call you in 2 weeks. Let them know what your intent is, when you're going to be following up with them, and then you put it in your calendar and you call them. And eEdge has all of those capabilities, and we'll get to that towards the end where we can kind of play around there and navigate that a little bit. So it's really, really powerful. Has anyone made a call list and brought that today?
I have a list, but I don't have all the numbers.
Okay.
Whatever. Like a contact list is what you're talking
Yeah,
about?
just like a contact list. Like, I think we should do actual work. Like, I'm going to go through this, and we're going to actually do this stuff because it's going to get you guys out of your comfort zone, and you're going to walk out of here hopefully with an appointment or at least a little bit more confidence. If you don't have your license yet, when do you guys expect that to be active?
Today.
Today? Okay.
Yesterday.
Okay, so any day.
Yeah.
So you could set an appointment for maybe Friday or over the weekend to like preview a for sale by owner. Okay, are you kind of in the same boat?
Probably early next week.
Early next week, okay, calling people. So maybe your calls look something like, hey, you know, I just wanted to reconnect. I know we haven't talked for a long time. You were on my softball team last summer. How's it going? Hey, I just wanted to let you know I'm doing this cool thing with Keller Williams, you know? And maybe that'll turn into coffee. And maybe that'll turn into who knows what. Maybe he knows a guy who knows a guy. That's what our hope is. So if you guys are up for it, we don't need to break for 20 minutes, but we could break for 10 and just make calls. Grab your phone. If you guys want to check, let's see, do we have Ignite scripts? So if you look at page 10, so this is a script for a referral. Am I missing something anything here, guys? Do they have a script for just, hey, how's it going? Yeah, they do, page 11. So script 1, that's really relevant. Script 3, that's really relevant. You know, the scripts are a great jumping off point, but you need to, you know, make it sound natural and make it your own.
So these aren't people you know, these are just randoms that you're talking.
No, these are people you know. Like, I mean, and you could kind of, so it's going to be weird to call somebody you know well.
And say, do we have a moment?
Well, it's, hey, I say that to everybody I talk to, really. It's like, hey, you know, do you got a minute? I just like to talk to chat for a second, or, you know, they're like, oh, I'm in an appointment. Oh, okay, sweet. I'll catch up with you tomorrow. Something like that.
Okay.
So it's just kind of like a, it can be as colloquial and natural as you want it to based on your relationship to them, if that makes sense. So, you know, you can just say, hey, do you have a minute? You know, I just wanted to connect with you. It's the beginning of the new year. I'm setting big goals for myself in my real estate business. I know you know a lot of people. Who do you know right now that's going to move that I could call? And, you know, really just be brass tacks and upfront about it. Has anybody learned the script, hey, can you help me with a problem? You know, I'm working on this great class at my brokerage called Ignite. I need to talk and preview, I need to talk with and preview 10 homes a week. Who do you know that might want to sell their house that, you know, maybe hasn't listed yet, is maybe thinking for sale by owner? You know, you can do scripts like that. So yeah, let's do it. Let's break for like, let's just call for 5 minutes and see what happens.
Hey, Kelly, did you use Zach's directions for the download from Facebook?
What do you mean?
Did I just call you Kelly? I did.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's okay. That's fine. That's fine.
I just wondered if you had followed his instruction and you still got the PDF or whatever that you couldn't turn into the Excel for the Facebook.
Oh, no, I did not use those. I did not use those.
I haven't done it yet, so I just wondered if it's going to run into that same thing.
No, but we can work on that. We can work on that when we get to that point. I didn't know that those existed then.
Seriously, saves Jamaica.
Yeah.
You know what? That's that cancer.
Hey Beth, I think it's Nellie Gettinger calling from Keller Williams. I'm just reaching out, wondering how things are going in your new house. We haven't talked in a while. Give me a call. I'd like to chat with you. I know that you have friends that you were mentioned that might be looking this spring, or you were talking about your sister last fall. Just wanted to connect and see how you're doing. Give me a call, 507-272-0526. Thanks. Hey Tracy, how are you? Do you have a minute, or is this a bad time? Great, I just wanted to reach out and connect around the beginning of the year and check and see how your mom was doing and if anything has changed on the status of getting her house on the market, or how you and Cal are doing, and if you closed on your contract for deed with that gal, and how you were doing, and thinking about career stuff. What's going on? Yeah. Yep. Uh-huh. Possibly. Yeah. I've got a call with a seller this afternoon about, her house, she's got a cigarette smoke problem, and she really needs the walls and everything deep cleaned. So I was gonna call her this afternoon, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to reach out to you, to see if you had time, if I could share your name with her and maybe have you bid that job. Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I could give her a call here early afternoon and see if I could connect with her. Maybe go over there. That she works from home, so you could go over there later this afternoon or later on, the day after tomorrow, something like that. But she's got to do something. Okay, I can work on that. I'll let you know. Her name's Tristan Kenny. Yeah, she's downtown. Awesome, awesome. Well, let's reconnect this afternoon then. I'll talk to her and see what she says. And I'm glad to hear that your mom's doing well. And we'll be in touch. Okay. Bye, Tracy. Hey Susan, it's Nellie Dettinger, just calling to see how you guys are doing, and wanted to chat about how looking this late winter, early spring. Give me a call when you get a chance. Talk to you soon. You've got my number, but it's 507-272-0526. Thanks. Hey, is this Ember? Hi, Ember. This is Nellie Dettinger calling from the True Living Team at Keller Williams. How are you? I'm good. Say, I wanted to reach out because I wanted to check and see where we're at with your farm search, and I have a lead on a property that's not on the market yet that I think you might be interested in seeing. It's in Northfield, kind of near Osseo. It would be probably like a 40-minute drive, like a 40-minute you know, old house, very similar to the property that you were interested in when I first met you. Lots of character. It's on 23 acres. Yeah, it's going to be priced like right around that 225 mark. Oh, okay. Okay. Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Uh-huh. Right. Yep. Mm-hmm. Right. And then you would be kind of at that same like 5 to 10 per minimum. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. With sports facility. Great. Well, I'll kind of, right. Well, I'm really glad that I'm in this call because this kind of shifts my whole, you know, strategy in, you know, what properties you might be interested in. So that's great. Super. Right. Yep, that's for sure. Well, I'll set you up on a new, on a new portal search, and, you know, we'll kind of shift gears as far as location, and we'll be in touch. Yeah, no problem, Ember. Take care. Have a great day. Thank you. Bye-bye. That's a winner. I haven't talked to that girl in 5 months. We've emailed a couple of times, and she was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for calling me and not forgetting about me. Exact words. Her property search has completely changed, not completely changed, but her location search has changed, which has also increased her purchase priceability. So that's kind of cool.
That's way cool.
Yeah, she's a completely different buyer than she was 5 months ago, and probably a lot more ready.
Nice.
So yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. How many calls did you make, Susan?
I made 4, but 2 didn't answer. It went right to voicemail. One
Okay.
was at work, didn't really have time to chat, and
Okay.
one was, we had just a quick little conversation about what I'm doing and this, that, and the other thing, and it was more like an, okay, that sounds great. You know, if I know of anybody else, send them your way, of course.
Right.
And we have a coffee date. So,
That's great. So you set a coffee date.
well, yeah, because it's a friend.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
But maybe by then, something will have popped up.
Yeah,
But
that's for sure.
I think you're right. I think it doesn't have to be, it's, this phone calling thing for me is very difficult, and I'm sure it is for most people,
Yeah.
especially when
Yeah.
they start. But my approach wasn't with the script. I'm not, because number one, I haven't had a chance to really look at that and be able to
Right. Do it
do that
naturally.
naturally, and so
right.
if I can't do it naturally, so I just kind of did it as an approach of, hey, how you doing, da 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 da, and you know, letting them know if you know of anybody. Getting this business rolling this year, as you know, we got the kids into an apartment, and actually we're starting to look for them a house, but just want to put it out there that if you know, and I even tell them, you know, if they say, well, you know, that's people we know in real estate, and I'll say, I know, but the least you can do is put me in the running. Just put me in the running.
Exactly. I'd
you
love
know?
to interview for the job.
Right.
I'd love to interview for the job.
So, I mean, I don't know that I'm smooth at it by any means yet, but for me, it's all about how I'm gonna have that conversation.
Right.
Because I am not a scripted person.
Right.
But I think the scripts are good. I just need to look them over and kind of fine tune them to how I am and how I talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
They just won't stop talking.
How many calls did you make?
I made 3.
Awesome. What happened?
I left 2 messages, and then I got a hold of someone, and I know them and been looking for some investment property for them. So we had a house that we were interested in, but it got sold. So
Okay.
so we're just gonna kind of full speed
Figure it
ahead.
out. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Next steps. Next steps.
Yeah.
Did you?
So-
How many calls did you make?
4.
Awesome. What happened?
I left 2 messages and I talked to 2 people. One knew I was in real estate and the other guy didn't. And it seemed like he didn't have a lot of time to talk.
Yeah.
And I realized now so when I was in the car business making phone calls, no problem because I know
Right.
every answer. You can't throw anything at me that I don't know the answer to.
Right.
Now I'm hesitant to make these phone calls because I don't know any of the answers. And I'm worried that they're gonna ask me some questions that I don't know.
Like what?
I don't know. That's what's stupid. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
I was the
You can't
same
be
way when
afraid
I
of that.
started in the car business. I don't know. And then they said, just make the call. You know,
Right.
Make the call. You don't have the option of doing anything but what you're supposed to do. So they
Right.
just force you to do it.
Right.
And then it comes along just fine.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, we're gonna have lunch, a friend of mine, talking over and, yeah, I think what I need to do next is have an event.
Mm-hmm.
Like right after this, go up and plan an event.
Yep.
So when I'm calling,
You've got something to say to people. You've
Yeah,
got an
because
invite for them.
I'm a real
Right.
estate agent. Okay, yeah, I see your work. Okay, if you know anybody looking to buy or sell, please let me know.
Right.
Okay, sounds good.
Uh-huh.
What do you say then? You know, and then it's, well, I'd like to invite you to this event.
right?
And for my appreciation for purchasing a vehicle from me, I'm gonna have this event, so that's exactly what I need to do next.
Well, that's good. That sounds like you've got some clarity on that.
If somebody asks you a question that you don't know.
I know.
No,
I
but-
can find the answer.
No, sometimes it's okay not to know, and sometimes you might know, and you have to kind of figure out how to get the next phone call or appointment. So one thing in my training, when I was with Countryside Business, it's okay not to know everything. Sometimes when you don't know something, it's like, hey, that's a great question. Well, I'm not 100% sure of the answer, so let me check into that, and then I'll get back to you. I mean, if you can get a second phone call or an appointment off of not always knowing the answer, because you don't want to do it
Yeah,
all
that's a
in
really
one
good
call.
point. That's a really
It's
good
always
point.
about getting the next appointment, is how I was trained. So it's okay if you don't know, because then even if you don't know, you can research it, and then you've got a reason, an open door reason to call back or sit down with them and have a cup of coffee.
Cindy, did you make some calls? What happened?
I did. I made 4 calls, talked to 3 people. I should have left a message on one of them, but I can call back. And then the last call, I'm sending an email to coordinate a visit with that carpet cleaning.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. to
Okay,
meet with
great.
her. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I made 3 calls, left 1 message, talked to 1 gal whose mom is not moving this winter. She might be moving this spring, but she didn't know. But she's a cleaning lady and she wants more jobs. So she's like, who do you know? So I'm working on this for sale by owner. Now I'm gonna call this for sale by owner and say, hey, I have a great cleaning referral for you because you've got cigarette smoke in your house that really needs to be taken care of, you know?
Are
And
you
then-
that blunt?
Yeah,
I mean, we kind of have to.
with this one, I am, because she really wants to move to Hawaii. And she wants to move to Hawaii in 8 weeks. And I'm like, well, number 1, let's get your house listed. But before we do that, we've got to make it look perfect. And right now, it smells like an ashtray. That's what I told her at the for sale by owner open house.
How did she respond?
She goes, you're right. She said, you're right. You know, I try not to smoke in my house, but I like to smoke in the morning in the kitchen, you know?
Well, but it goes everywhere.
Right, exactly. So then my third call was a buyer that I met in an open house 5 months ago. And she put an offer on a property and didn't get it. She's been on this portal, but not really active in it. And we haven't really talked in 4 or 5 months. And I called her and she's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for calling me and not forgetting about me. My criteria has actually changed. I didn't even know that. So now I've got different search parameters for her on a portal and, you know, reconnected. So that was super worth it. Super worth it.
For sale by owner, did you ask her to sign with you? Or how did that go? I mean,
How did that go?
so now you're still helping her, but she's still selling it on her own? How is?
Right. So I'm trying to help her because, you know, the point, this is my attitude with for sale by owners.
Okay.
Number 1, they haven't listed because they're skeptical and they want to keep all of their equity and they think they can do it on their own.
Sure.
Okay. So my response to that is nothing makes me happier than to see a for sale by owner do it all on their own, right, and get to keep all of that equity. But ultimately, you want to sell your house, and that's what I want to help you do.
Sure.
So the way I left it, or the way I came over, is I said, I'd love to come and preview your house and see if there's any way I can help you. She goes, yeah, I'm having an open house right now. Come on over. So there was nobody at this open house. It was like dead still. She's like, oh, I'm so glad that you came. So I spent a ton of time going through the house, and at the end, I said exactly that. Nothing would make me happier than to see you sell this on your own, but you're probably going to hire an agent. You should really hire me. This is what I can do for you. I can help you get all this stuff sold. We can deal with the cigarette smoke. I can do all this. And she was like, oh, I have this friend and her name's Angela with Woods and Water. And I really want to list with her if I can't sell it on my own. And I said, well, if she was really all that awesome, I said, you would have gone with her at the beginning. So I really want to stay in touch for an interview. And she was like, okay. So, you know, people have these ideas of what they want to do, but you have to present pathways and alternatives for them.
Sure.
So they can, you know, make a choice.
Well, the other thing
So-
you just said to us is just because they have a friend in the business and they think they're going to go with them, where is that friend in the business when they really need them? So that doesn't mean that one of us can't
Right.
get that job. I mean, at the end of the day,
Right.
we're all interviewing for that job. It's not a guarantee.
Right.
It's
That's
about what we
exactly
do as well, not just
Right.
who we know.
Right. Yep. That's exactly true. So one of the things that I struggled with when I was making my calls is I didn't have lists on my iPhone, and I didn't have my people organized. So it took me probably 5 of the minutes to kind of decide who I was going to call. I probably could have made twice as many calls if I would have had an organized database and could have just logged into my eEdge. So one of the things that I'd like to do is have everybody log in to their eEdge and just start building it. I am willing to help anybody that has any problems with that. Did everyone bring their computer, and do you all have the tools to do that?
Is there another name for eEdge?
But what if we're already using another database?
Yeah.
I don't
Okay,
wanna,
perfect.
I don't wanna switch
Yeah.
that. I'm using Realty Juggler and I
Yes,
love it, and I've
yes.
already got 100 in there, and I'm
Right,
not gonna
so
switch it over.
use Realty Juggler.
Okay.
So do you guys know what a CRM is? Okay, a contact relationship manager, you know what that is? It's, the physical computer program that you use for the database. There's a million
Like
and
Salesforce.
one. Yeah, there's a million and one of them out there.
No, I used to use Salesforce.
Okay.
But it was, well
Was
beyond what I needed.
Can I
Well,
tell you
yeah.
that? I'm just gonna put one little quick bit
No,
in there.
go ahead, go ahead.
Realty Juggler, Lori recommended it to me, and
Uh-huh.
she actually physically showed me hers before I did anything with mine, and I wanted to, as I'm starting now, January 1, I thought the first thing I gotta do is get this, because as I have my people that I'm doing my mailers to or anything, I'm going to also then immediately get it in these contacts, because you never go back and do it later if you don't
Right.
start right away. But Realty Juggler, it's just so easy to do, and again, you can list them whether it's if you don't like the way they word it, if you don't want the word prospect and you want FSBO in there, or however you want to do it for each category,
Sure.
you can actually put your own in and add them, because I've had to do that too.
Mhm.
But it is just so easy to use. So for business contacts, it's got business information. You can do homework, their email. And right now, if you go to realtyjuggler.com, you can actually set up a 90-day free trial period. And if you decide to go, and you'll use every option they have, and then if you decide to go with it, it's $99 a year.
Oh, wow, it's really
Yeah.
cheap.
Yeah,
It is, it's really, really.
And if you decide to do it, you can use my name as a referral, because then you get an extra 2 months free and I get an extra 2 months free.
Awesome.
Just putting that out there,
We'll take a peek.
because I did
Yeah.
get Lori an extra 2 months
I
because she
have.
recommended it to me, so she's got 2 months free next year, the next time she signs
Well,
up.
Mel sent me something different.
I currently have a spreadsheet with about 18 different CRMs on it, but I'm.
Well,
Right, right.
these don't come
So,
up as a spreadsheet,
that's
these
the
literally
thing.
go this way and it's.
Oh, no, I
No,
mean,
what
like,
he
I've
means that
started a
he's
spreadsheet
managing.
to evaluate the
Right,
CRMs.
right. So I've been down that road too.
For sure.
And there's an Inman article that says, here's the top 10. Keller Williams eEdge is something that we already paid for. The only CRM that's the best is the one you're actually gonna use. And, I'm at the point where I'm just going all in, on eEdge, and I already paid for it. I'm using it, and that's what,
And eEdge is a third party that Keller Williams has.
Yeah.
Right?
it's not a third party, it's our own intranet system. So have you gotten a Keller Williams login yet?
Yep, but I mean, is it like that loop? I mean,
Yeah.
they're
Yes.
outsourcing this eEdge, right? I mean, eEdge, you can use it if you're not with Keller Williams, correct?
I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
I don't-
I think it's part of Keller Williams.
Yeah,
but
I think it's a
may be wrong.
proprietary thing.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Yeah.
It's just
I think
something
it's
they brought in so that it's part of your office fee if you
Yeah.
wanna use it.
It's
Okay,
something that
heavens
they
forbid,
created.
what if down the road I leave Keller Williams, which is, I know that's blasphemy.
Yep, you
but
can export your contact
You
list.
can take your contact list with you.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
also, it doesn't remove your contact list from the database.
Oh, that's a good one to know.
That is true. That is true.
What was that?
I mean,
So if you ever.
Being an engineer,
No,
I'm like,
KW.
I knew
If you
that,
ever
but-
run, well, he was saying, heaven forbid, if I use eEdge, and that's a Keller Williams site. Product, he said, if I leave Keller Williams, I wanna take my contacts with me, and she said, well, you can, but he was saying how, but that won't delete them from Keller Williams, so KW will also have your whole contact list if you're using that. It's just a good thing to know.
Right.
Depending on
necessarily
how
a bad
private of a
thing.
Yeah,
person
right,
you are.
because-
Yeah, well, and that is a reason that some people hear heaven simply because there are other companies that say we own your database because it is in, whatever they're using, which clearly is an e-edge, but they own your database.
Right.
You've uploaded it to that real estate's, to their company. Keller Williams doesn't do that. But still, if you've ever had that done to you, then there are people that are gonna be like, well, what if they change their mind?
They get scared.
Yeah.
So then
I mean,
that's when you pay for your own, so
Right.
you have your own.
So are you talking about this realty?
I'm saying that this is another easy CRM that's really cheap that you could use as an alternative to e-edge if you find that super confusing.
It is.
There's
I know.
ridiculous. Yeah. So
Salesforce
let's
is
just,
$150.
this is-
I think I could probably help you guys out a lot if you're not willing to just abandon e-edge altogether. I could just spend some time and just help you guys navigate your questions in that and get you started getting your database in there.
I've got a quick question for you,
yeah.
Emily. When you use it, so when you add contacts, you're putting them in e-edge, you're not
Yeah.
putting them anywhere else?
Right. Oh, no, I am putting them in, see, whatever MLS also contact sheet that I need for their search portals if I'm setting them up on a search.
Okay, so otherwise you're only using e-edge?
Right. Well, I also have my email, so I have email lists too in Gmail.
So that's what I found with e-edge. Cal had come up with a way, if you have like a monthly email going out, to be able to download your database again from Google, from Gmail, and upload it and because, the first 5 are duplicates, then it wouldn't do it. He figured out a way around that, or that thing no longer works.
Okay.
So do you enter them in your Google and then you enter them in
Yeah, I
e-edge
do.
also? So you're doing it twice?
Yeah,
Okay.
I do. I wish I had an easier way around it, and I fought that for months, and now I'm just at the point where I need to get them in there, and I just need to do it, and yes, it is gonna be extra work.
Gotcha.
Until somebody shows me a better way.
Sometimes it's
Well, I've wasted so many hours trying to find the best way that it's just like you just print out the stuff and just enter it.
I've got hours to waste right
You might not for
Right,
long.
right. So what is everyone's Cindy, what's your biggest problem with e-edge? What can I help you with your database right now, like tech-wise?
Well, I've started, I've been entering people in.
Mm-hmm.
I was successful with that Facebook printout too.
Yep,
So
okay.
going through kind of cleaning that up.
Uh-huh.
So just basically understanding how to make groups.
Okay.
And then Carrie's using an 8x8.
Mm-hmm.
So I would like to use that versus a 33 touch, or I'm all
Okay.
confused with all this.
All right, well, then let's go back and explain kind of what, can you guys see over this if I write on this?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so an 8x8 is the precursor to a 33 touch. So there's a page right here in this coursework that explains all about, I'll tell you what page it's on. But an 8x8 is just something that you put people that you newly meet or people that you're newly reconnecting with. It's touching them 8 times over 8 weeks. It's once a week for 8 weeks. That's all it is. That's to establish the relationship. Then you move them to a 33 touch, where you're touching them 33 times in 1 year. Which is what, 3 times a month? About? Two or 3 or 4 times a month, depending on how you decide you want those touches. So let's brainstorm how we can establish that relationship. So right away when you meet someone, you can send them a handwritten note, right? Maybe the next time you're, asking to meet for coffee or sending them an item of value depending on what group they fall into. So if it's a for sale by owner and, sending them an item of value might mean emailing them some comps on their home. Megan, what have you sent people?
In handwritten notes or in emails?
Like in an email.
I use the e-edge, the monthly.
Yep.
The one that's in there. So I've done 2 different campaigns in there. The next one I'm actually going to do is going to be through Lighter Side of Real Estate.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, that's a funny site.
Yeah.
Lighter Side of Real Estate is like a joke feed. So check into it. It's fun.
So I did like the tips, tips for your home. I can't remember what the one was last year that I did. I have my newsletter thing set up to do, but I've never sent that one out.
Okay. A market report. So every month the Market Center puts out a market report on what's going on here in Rochester. So that's something that you could send to a for sale by owner or a buyer. Getting, somebody that is potentially looking as a buyer, getting them set up on an MLS portal. That's an item of value. And you can continue to check in with them with phone calls. What are some other things? Calling for a coffee meeting. Emailing them events, whether that's a buyer workshop. Another event that you're creating yourself. Susan, have you sent out items of value via email?
Some emails right now. I'm just getting started on. I've had different letters. It depends on who it's going to. So I have different things I do for FSBOs versus expires versus sending out things now to builders. And then I have contact lists. Like I have a lot of them I've got to get entered in from past Creative Homes,
Right.
home shows, open
Right.
houses at Countryside. So, and then I'm also farming a community right now. So, I mean, I just have so many different categories and like you, it's just a matter of finding hours in a day. I'm like every day trying to do some of this. And I kind of treat each category differently depending upon how I'm going to do those initial touches.
Right. In-person visits. So if the person owns a business, just stopping in. But basically, Keller Williams has this relationship establishing guideline. So when you meet people and you're trying to reconnect with people, you build a relationship first rather than just putting them on an email campaign or, on some type of direct mail campaign or something that's just going to feel like spam to them. So that's really the key. And I think that this is the most effective and it's the most time consuming. It is, it's time consuming. But if you just chunk it off and say, okay, I'm going to do this for 15 minutes a day, and you've got the people in your database that you know that you're dealing with on the 8x8, it goes pretty quick.
What do you mean it's the most effective? Phone calling or all of it?
A combination of all of these.
Right.
So
Right.
that's what an 8x8 is. It's it's page 29 of your coursework. It's 8 touches in 8 weeks. So that can be a personal visit, a note, a phone call, an email. Times two of each. You mix it up.
I see.
Yep. So by the time those 8 weeks are over, they're like, oh my gosh, Nellie is always up in my face. Like, I just love her. We've connected. You've formed a real relationship with the person. So that way, when you start when you put them on an e-edge campaign or a Realty Juggler campaign, they're used to you being in touch with them and sending them stuff. So it doesn't come back to you as, please remove me, this is spam. You know, nobody wants that. I mean, you can't be afraid of that. You're always going to have people that, even people that like you, they're just like, I just don't like my email jumped out, you know?
Yeah, sure.
So that's what that is. So then the 33 touches is 33 touches in a year. And you can decide, you know, what that is, but it should include 14 mailings, letters, cards, emails, or drop-offs. So it shouldn't be all emails. It shouldn't be all cards, you know. It shouldn't be all of anything. It should be a combination. 8 thank you or thinking of you cards. There is a company out there right now called Send Out Cards. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. It's something where you can take a photo off of somebody's Facebook and type them a note, and you have credits on this website, and then they just like make the card and mail it out for you. Kind of slick. The only thing that I don't like about it, because I've gotten a couple of these from other realtors that were like testing it out, is it's not handwritten.
Sure.
You know, it's printed, so it kind of looks. But they did make the effort to go get the picture and, you know, all of that. So, you know, that's an option. But all of your people you just met or reconnecting with should go on an 8x8. And then those 8x8s get moved into a 33 touch.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm. And when you're systematic with that, that's where Gary Keller's numbers really get shown out, where he can say 1,920 contacts marketed on an 8x8 and the 33 touch over 3 years will net you $1 million in gross commission income. And I know that I have failed miserably at all of this and have done reasonably well. So what gets me excited is like, oh my gosh, now I'm actually going to do it. So that's exciting. 4 personal observance cards, you know, their birthday, anniversary. I mean, you don't even have to have that information. You know, maybe you end up knowing that information because you're friends with them on Facebook and you can see, you know, what's going on in their life if they're a past client or a close friend. But, you know, just observing something cute for St. Patrick's Day. I mean, there's a holiday every single month of the year. And so you don't have to do all of them for everybody, but just map it out and make that part of your marketing plan. Have you guys thought about doing anything for Valentine's Day? What are some 33 touch ideas for Valentine's Day?
All I can think of right now would be cards.
Right.
Drop off cupcakes, cookies.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe at a business.
Yeah, you could dropping off treats at a business.
I'll do that individually.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Well, what's a cheap way that we can hack that?
I love that cheap way. That's a good segment.
Yeah,
right there.
that's right.
It's important.
It is important. What's a cheap way that we could hack the treats? Like if you went into Target and got, you know, a couple of packs of their really nice, or, you know, you could get 3 or 4 dozen really nice decorated sugar cookies and have, you know, just put them in a really nice, in a baggie with a card attached. That's one treat. I mean, that's kind of getting mileage.
Yeah. Drop off
Yeah.
at banks.
Yeah, at banks, or, you know, think of the 33 touch, people that you're already talking to, then going the extra mile and bringing them a treat. They're gonna be like, oh my gosh, that's so awesome.
Dollar store is always.
Right, that's true. That's true.
Ribbon.
And I don't know.
Maybe just look at it. reach out to people after Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
It's just another.
Right, it's just another reason to talk to them. It's just another reason to talk to them.
Happy Columbus Day.
Arbor Day.
Right.
I heard about,
Arbor Day.
I took Jackie Ellis's class.
Uh-huh.
And they do different client events throughout the year, but her biggest one is called Shredding and Pancakes.
Okay.
And it's the day after tax day, in which their clients can bring in their paperwork and they shred it for free. And then they do a pancake
That's
breakfast.
a really good idea.
And it's hugely successful.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the whole point is to get in front of them and offer some kind of value, whether that's, emailing information, getting in front of them with a treat, doing something to them with a card. It really doesn't matter what it is if the intention behind it is to connect with them and bless them. That's really the bottom line. You all have this calendar, and the nice thing about this calendar is they have staggered days that are kind of blocked off on here where you can just say, okay, these are my 33 touch days, and this is what I'm going to do. And
Where is that at?
it's page 31 in the
Okay,
instructor's thing, so it's, I don't know what it is on your end. But if you do your 8 touches in 8 weeks, all on one day of the week, then you're thinking about it for an hour once a week. And then if you're on 33 touch, it's still just once a week. Where you're getting in front of the main people in your database that you want to connect with. It's a systematic way, which is, in my world, the only way it's going to get done. But I see the value in what the spontaneous inconsistency does of all of us dropping everything and just making a few phone calls and what that can do. And it's super exciting and empowering. Like, okay, what if every day at 9 I knew that I was going to be doing this and this, and how would that change my pipeline? So the other takeaway that I want you guys to get from this is you don't have to invest in a bunch of marketing stuff to execute this and even to execute it well. You don't have to have all of these fancy pens and sending out calendars, and all of that stuff is great, when you get to that point, but it's not necessary to get started. It's the only thing that's necessary to get started is to build the thing and do the work. So, Susan, let's talk about Realty Juggler. In eEdge, they're, importing the contacts and organizing them is the easy part, I've noticed. What gets a little bit more tricky is setting up the campaigns and getting the creative content in there to make it all look the way you want. Can you give us any feedback on Realty Juggler? Have you done any of that yet?
Because I just signed up for it, but
Okay.
the cool thing is there's lots of videos that you can watch to learn how to use every aspect. I can tell you it has the tasks. You can do the touches, the 8x8 to the 33. I know you can do all that because Lori has showed me that she has hers set up that way.
Right.
But there is, I've been in class, this is a week of classes for me, so I barely had time to get a lot of this stuff done. But I do need to watch the videos on some of this. It's very easy to, when you're putting in your contact information, there is a spot there where you can right away, and I didn't do that with everybody, and I wish I had, say like how many days before you want to touch base again. But then you can also go in and do all of those things too. I just haven't watched the video on how to do all of that yet.
Okay.
I mean, it does everything that eEdge does.
So who is Lori that does it?
Lori Mangan.
Maybe.
Oh, okay. And she likes it.
She loves it because her and I were talking, and I said, I got to figure out this database thing, and then she just she said, come into my office, and she brought it up, and she was so happy. She's like, I need something that's really easy for me because I do very simple things to keep my campaigns going. I don't want it to be more than I need to use, and it's $99 a year. So she kind of just gave me a couple glimpses, and then I wrote down the information, and that was back in November. So I figured in January, Lori's
a big promoter.
She is, and the thing that I like about Lori's recommendations is she's right. She's totally honest about how much work she wants to put into something, and how she's very tuned into her return on investment, you know, for her money and her time.
Yeah.
So I would take that very seriously.
Yeah, she said, you know me, I just want something really simple. If I've got to work at it too hard, that just takes away from making money. You know,
Right.
This is part of making money, but you
Plus
don't
you
want to
won't do
invest. Pardon?
Plus you won't do it.
Plus you won't do it. And she said, I needed something that wasn't so detailed. She said, I don't, she's like me. She doesn't want to have to mess with figuring out technology. She wants it to just pop up on the screen and say, you know, fill a name, fill in this, do this, this, this. And this just asks you all the questions, you know, and you just fill in what you want or what you have at the moment. You can always go back into that contact when you get more information and add more, like maybe a birthday, an anniversary, you know, whatever you still need.
But the thing with eEdge is that it already has your profile, you know, your photo and
This can do a profile and all of that for you too. I just haven't set it up because I'm in the 90 days free, so I haven't set everything up yet. They can even do I think they can even do a KW header for you. But when they showed me the one they had, it doesn't comply with the one we have in our office. So I would have to talk to them about that. I said, no, I don't want that because it doesn't have the Keller Williams Premier Realty. It's just KW. So I wasn't sure that would work.
Is there a way to create your own custom?
I'm sure there is. I could probably call them because they always leave you a number to call.
Right.
Too.
Right.
So I'm sure you can
Well,
do all
how
that.
far have you gotten in importing your stuff into eEdge City?
41 people.
Okay.
And that doesn't count, I don't think I put in. So I'm confused because I'm always in Flex MLS with those individuals and I'm working that all day long. All day long. So, and it's few, but it's, you know, keeping me active.
Right.
So I still could add those people, but a lot of my 41 leads might be a lot of my refashion people that are just, I'm not real close with, you know, they're clients.
Right.
Some I wrote a small amount I'm very close with. A larger percentage, they're just people that come in and out.
Right. So those people are still valuable because their names and their emails and they have the same needs as people that are close to you. So I think that if you want to stick with eEdge, you should just you could just take these 41 people right now and just organize them in eEdge and put them on a list. And I would help you do that right now. And that way you know what's my relationship with them and how do I potentially want to communicate with them in my business.
Does eEdge let you also upload all of your phone contacts? Because this let me do it. It asked if I wanted to and I did. So all my emails and phone contacts, all I had to do was upload it to Realty Juggler and they're all in. I didn't have to take any of them in. Anything I had in my phone, uploaded right to this. So I have every contact. So like all of my preferred suppliers I worked with builders because like when you said go in, that was one of the first things I did. I took a month and went to all those businesses and let them know that this was going to be my new adventure.
Right.
And I have kept in touch with them. And those I don't send letters to. That's always a personal phone call. That is a stopping in and saying, hey, how's business going, guys? This is where I'm at.
Right.
You know, because I need to keep in touch with all of those people.
Right.
Treats at Christmas.
Yeah.
Which they love.
eEdge does not have a way to take contacts from the phone other than you physically typing them in.
This just saved me a lot of time because it was like in seconds, all of that was uploaded. So I didn't have to mess with any of that. Now I still need to go in on all of those and I have to decide what category they go into, obviously.
Right.
But I don't have to type names and addresses and phone numbers and emails and all of that. Anything that was in my phone on those people that I already had in notes, everything, it just boom, took it off and brought it into that. And that was kind of nice.
Well, I would be willing to just take 10 minutes and if everyone wants to pull up Realty Juggler on their computer,
And I mean, some people might not
Just
like
like-
it, it's a personal preference thing.
Yeah, that's for sure, but it's a free trial, right?
90 days free.
And you could just poke around in it and just give it a pass fail versus e-edge and say, you know, what would I rather work with? Because you're right, Cindy, if it's not easy for you and it's not, and the learning curve is too high and it's too complicated, you're not gonna do anything with it.
You know, we pay for e-edge too.
We do pay for e-edge.
What, $15 a month or something?
Yeah, it's part of our tech fee. And it does work fine. It does work fine. But I think if you're intimidated by it and you already have 41 people in there, maybe the next step is to just analyze all of those people and put them into groups. Because when you added those contacts in there, how did you classify them?
Yeah.
Does e-edge give you an advantage, say, when if you're closing a deal, loading it into paperwork somehow, or that makes sense? Or, you know what I mean? Within the system.
I have not experienced that. Megan, if you have, when I create my loops, they're based on address, and then, you know, there really isn't any
No.
way for that to talk to each other because you're uploading paperwork to Dotloop, you're uploading contracts, you're not manually typing in people's contact information per se. The only time I'm typing in contact information into a loop for a transaction is if I'm saying the seller is this and I'm representing the buyer and here's their information.
Dotloop used to be what we used. But there were always outdated forms and stuff. It was never
Right.
up to date. It was a lot easier to use than Transaction Desk.
Okay.
But Transaction Desk now has made so many changes, and now I'm used to using Transaction Desk.
Yeah.
So, because we couldn't use the Authentisign, that's why we had to switch.
Right.
All of a sudden they said we can't do this now, and then not all of the Keller Williams did that, but our Market Center did. That we couldn't use that Authentisign. So
The DocuSign, you mean?
yeah. So switching over to Transaction Desk, I do everything in there now. I don't put anything in Dotloop until I have the full file ready to go,
Right.
and then I
Transfer.
upload that, and that's it.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's what
I take the whole file and I upload it, and then I'm done. And I submit it. That's all I do in Dotloop. That's it. Unless they come back and say, hey, you're missing this or that or
And then
whatever.
you just go back in and fix it and then reload it. Is that what you do?
Right. You know, if I
Well,
forgot
that
to put a
makes
date on
sense.
top of a page or something, okay, I gotta print that out, put the date, and then I upload it to Dotloop.
I mean, that makes sense because you just saved yourself a whole lot of time. Why do it twice or 3
Mhm.
times?
So all of your forms, everything are in Transaction Desk, so, and they're always up to date, because as soon as you were supposed to use the new ones, the old ones are gone. They disappear, you can't use them anymore, so.
Can't make mistakes.
Right, and then, you know, when you need to go in and make changes and everything is set up, because I set it all up, you know, right away, you know, with the address, the MLS, blah, 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 all of that, and then everything pulls in and you have your dates, you don't have to keep going back and seeing the date of this was, if you need a new form, you need an amendment after everything is signed.
It pulls up the address
Right.
and everything for you.
So their free trial doesn't even require a credit card.
No. They trust that they have such a good product.
Well, you load all your information.
You load all your
in there, and in 90
information in
days,
it.
You don't wanna redo it,
Yeah.
so they got you.
I
Would be my
mean, why
guess.
would you? But I mean, I like it. I mean, I have nothing to compare it to, but I like it. But I'm not one of these tech people that wants to keep, I just want to get one that's
Sure.
easy for me to use and I'm just gonna be happy
Yeah,
with
you
it.
don't need
Well,
the newest
I'm
and
just
latest.
gonna log into this and create a free trial and we can play around with it. And,
Is that really your email? .co?
It's kind
It
of like with my existing business, I have a company that they're called Marketing Gurus. It's called Snap Retail. And they host my website. Yet I can go in there and for a month at a time, I can automatically put in every Facebook post for the month, all the emails, they have templates, you know, all this. It's very easy. Plus you can set up appointments and they'll help you. They can all interface with, you know, Instagram, Pinterest. why can't we have something like that here?
Cause we need something that does it kind of
The
for us, but we
templates are-
just have to do ours,
The templates are
yeah.
set up, everything is done. If you work with them, the marketing people, they can either share a screen and you do it and they're helping you, or you share the screen and they're doing it. And like, just would be so nice. And then you can print it off, so.
Nellie, do you not use a KW website or email?
I do. I also have one that's branded to our team, and it just feeds right into my kw.com address.
Got it.
So,
And then you can print it off, you know, that's where I'm struggling. I would like to have something ready to go, a printed off piece of material that I could give to people throughout the day, and that's what I'm struggling with right now. The stats are boring, like, you know, oh,
Right.
here's some stats. I mean, I would like to have something else,
like what?
like a flyer that says something of value of what's going on in the market, or a tip. It'll be,
Okay, so all of those things are accessible
Yeah.
in eEdge. Or I'm guessing Realty Juggler, you can just upload PDFs in your logo and probably create the same thing. Huh, Susan?
I haven't did that yet, but I will tell you that one thing I absolutely love that I've customized a ton of, and this is part of my written marketing plan. If you just go to your one login and then you do the KW intranet.
Susan, what's your referral code?
Oh, I think I have to have a code. No, you get it. You get the code. They'll email it to you.
No,
You
it's
just-
asking me, it says, how did you hear about us? I said referral code. So it's asking me for your referral code so we can get the credit.
Hold on. Just a second. I gotta go to my email to get that.
Okay.
Maybe I'll use Nellie's code. And I can learn, we'll just kind of leapfrog and we'll all get
We
2
could do
extra
that.
free months.
We could do that.
Well, that would work because with every single person she refers, she would,
Get the-
right.
Get that code for you.
Okay.
It might be down there a little ways because I saved it.
So,
Try number 315996. Sure, that's I'm gonna try that.
It worked.
Yay! Good for me. And I saved it. Because I know for Lori, I just had to put her name in, who referred you.
Okay.
And then I think they sent me a referral code. A little bit different, but. So that's your, yeah, I mean, that's your homepage. You just click on whatever you want, but then once you click on, like, say, contacts,
Yep.
click on that. And then everything's always off to the side too. So you don't always have to go back to homepage. You can switch around just right on the side, however you want to do things, which is really nice. So your calendar, if you have like Google or whatever your calendar is, that'll hook right up to that too. So anything you put in Realty Juggler will automatically be added onto, for me, it's my Google Calendar. So therefore I get my, however you set it up, I get a text message and I get an email reminding me of, and I put everything in there. Because
Okay.
I'm of the age of forgetting things.
Okay.
You know, all of a sudden it's
Right.
Thursday and I think it's still Wednesday. So, you know, you can put, I mean, you can put it in by date and time.
Mhm.
You can change, you know, just like in your phone, you can just decide, do you need to be reminded an hour before or 10 minutes before?
Right.
Or a day before. So, I mean, this connects completely up to that, which I really like because it's all working together. So I kind of like it.
what was the referral code?
It is 315996. I mean, you're out nothing if you're trying it for 90 days.
Right.
They'll give you a little, I mean, they'll kind of keep sending you a little bit of stuff, but I had like a couple of days where they sent me the, do you want to buy now? And I ignored that. And then eventually they're like, here's when your last day of your 90 days is. But they also sent me the information saying that, yes, Lori is going to get her 2 months free and so are you. So.
Right.
And I'm not sure if she gets hers right away. I'm assuming she'll get hers as soon as I sign up and pay my $99 for the year. But I don't know if they're giving it to her now or if they're going to give it to her.
So what was your biggest difference in this versus eEdge?
I've never used eEdge. I started right with this.
Okay.
And all I know is because I just went up, I trust Lori.
Right.
She's got a good marketing background. You know, I've had lots of conversations with her since I've started here. And she's just one of those people that I feel like we're on that same wavelength of how we work.
Yep.
So I guess for me, I just kind of went in head first and said, you know what, $100 a year is nothing.
Right.
If this gives me peace of mind and it's easy.
So when I hit new contact,
So now what you can
you're
do,
giving me all of these fields. Okay.
and then you would go to address next. So you'd fill out that stuff and then underneath the general, go to address. See on the side?
Uh-huh.
Go to address. Now that's gonna let you fill in the address on that contact, whether it's work, home, you know, you can go down and do all of that.
I can upload.
And with that address, it'll also give you like, so for buyer or for a listing, it'll also, it gives you like your Google map search or a Zillow map, or, I mean, it just does all this stuff and I don't even know if I'll use any of that, but it just has a lot of neat features. You know what I mean? I might find one new feature a month or every 2 months that I want to try and play with and add in. And you
Okay.
gotta like the little juggler dude in it, you know? Changing
Is there a
pages.
restroom in here? Is it
Yeah,
on the main,
yeah, you just go out the doors.
in the main?
Yeah,
lobby?
just keep walking straight.
They also have texting on that too.
That they text your contact.
Yep, you could text your contact
Mhm.
from your mobile phone. Which would need a verification code.
I have to go tell you.
You know, and Melanie, you might be really disappointed in it once you get trying. Like I said, I'm so new into this.
Right.
And just the little bit I've started with, you know, I am married to an engineer who last October tried to do a spreadsheet for this for contacts. And I looked at that and said, this is like a headache and it is not gonna work because, you know, engineers are very detailed and it was just not what I needed. Not that you don't need detail here, but it was difficult. Plus his was everything, you know, left to right, and I like to go top to bottom when I do my stuff.
Right.
So this was just a treat for me.
Brad, how many appointments did you get? You got going there.
I had got with a realtor that, gonna bring somebody to my listing. She doesn't stop talking.
Oh.
Gotcha.
Melanie Ashbaugh. You know who that is? You know exactly how she talks then probably. If for every 100 words she says, you only need to hear a few
Right.
of them.
Right.
Because she gets on to something else, and then something else. She means well. She's trying to help me the best she can. She just kind of sick through that stuff.
Okay, Nellie. Yep. So now I just this moment got an email, and it's really cute. It's Realty Juggler, and it says, well, it's been a few days since you've signed up for your 90-day trial. And it kind of talks, you know, bragging about the product. And it said, did you know we offer a complimentary one-on-one training? Just give us a call. Reply to this email to set up a training session. So they'll even do a one-on-one training with you if you have any questions or need help.
Gotcha.
So I mean, you know, you're obviously, you know, I'm still on my 90 days. I'm only taking advantage of the 90 days to delay payment.
Right, right.
That is why, I mean, I have every intention of buying it. But why wouldn't you? But it looks like they've got a good program there if you need help. They always have a phone number you can call.
Well, I think what I'll probably do is put like 10 people into this and try it for 8 weeks on an 8x8 and see how easy it is to use.
Right.
If it's worth importing my whole e-edge thing
Then
and
you can
switching
always do
over.
it.
Yeah, I think, but this is a good alternative if if the e-edge interface intimidates you or you find it hard to navigate, because this does look super simple, like an 8-year-old can do it.
Yeah, that's the kind of technology that I need.
Right, right.
And my husband loves it because I was showing
To go around and just help you individually overcome that learning curve, so you feel comfortable going in there on your own account, on your own machine, and doing that. Are you guys up for that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, super. Let's do it.
And then I want you to show me that video you talked about.
what did I talk about?
That form. Okay, Nellie, I'm all set.
Okay, awesome. I'll just come here. All right.
Oh yeah, yep. How to create.
Okay.
That look great.
Yeah, it does. That's right.
Well, she's the one that.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Right. So down here, you can. Great.
Okay, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't check off. Oh, good. Please, hold on.
And I'm not even afraid. It doesn't because most
Right.
Okay. So, yeah.
You know what I mean, to be honest.
Right,
Yeah, so I imported these. That was really interesting.
So I say it and I say what I do.
Where, how did you, where did this come from?
Everything under
Yeah.
Sharon is from like fashion.
Right.
Created.
I mean, I really don't.
I don't actually. I did it, well, I did a little bit with Ellen, very helpful.
So add notes, so you could just type in, free fashion client or anything else. Okay, so you could just put free fashion for those people that cannot even picture.
Oh, yeah, I don't, yeah.
And it seems like we go hand in hand. No, I know it's hard to talk. Now,
Yeah, it's how you talk to people and making connections and.
Right. So, and are all of those like that? So let's select them all, and then create a campaign, we're gonna put them on this called free fashion contact, or free fashion old market. And they don't have, and you can create a campaign that just emails them, hey, I know you love free fashion, and you love my real estate, or something like that. And you
we'll figure it out.
have your picture, living on Williams. And, maybe they go on a monthly campaign about, and they get a market report every month, because you never know when they're going to be in the market. These are still all the people. Okay, well, if you ever watch it, you'll.
She is someone I'm working with. She's a former
Yeah,
Okay.
in the future, and I have her.
Yeah, exactly.
As well.
Okay.
She's a ways out, but she.
Well, she can still be
Different
flat.
types
Yeah.
of- I know exactly.
Okay, she's my hot one, Sarah Keys.
Yes, with
Yeah, she's somebody I'm working with now, and she's on my God too. That's the one that you sent me information on that's never.
Okay.
And same with Cameron. No, these are relationships. Trisha, you work on it.
Okay.
That's that.
All right. So then you can go to marketing.
Character.
So, sure, that's how I would. And all of these, you could be, live and photos and your logo. So,
That's something like Julie was talking yesterday. You truly very ready, those photographic, they're in my own story. That's been really frustrating.
okay.
Just
And never kids.
But if we could just get, you have that logo saved on your computer.
Yeah, all those.
Because we should just be able to convert it. So why don't you look at, one of these templates and see what you could
True, that it's, see a certain side.
And it's literally just uploading your logo here, uploading your picture here, and customizing the content. And then all of this stuff can also be customized.
What's
So
the
it's,
$10
No,
reward?
no,
What's your time, right?
no.
if you go in here and look at these campaigns, kind of play around with it, and say, okay, which one kind of fit best in with this? Yeah. And, maybe what you do is just test it out for maybe those 40 people. And see what the response is. Because in these, I don't know why it's loading online. But within these campaigns, there's 6 emails, and then there's 3 activities done. So there's phone scripts to go along with it. And if you have phone numbers for all these people, do something, or not all of them. Okay, because some of them maybe you will. So, but here, the campaign title would be True Living with Real Estate Introduction, or something, or Introduction to Cash. And that's something that you see, it's not something that they to you. Let me know when that's back.
I don't know, like, I'm not gonna stay for the meeting.
Okay, okay.
I think my gal needs to go find something that time.
Right.
So for tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow, I'll text you that address.
And then it's at 2 o'clock.
Yeah, 2 o'clock. It's right in town.
Yeah, what would you like me to do? How do you want me to prepare?
Yeah, just professional, dress, like what you're wearing today is fine. If you have time and you want to play around with a CMA, and then we can kind of compare notes.
Okay.
We could, is there any place that you can like a little early and talk about it?
Yeah.
Where tweak that much.
Right.
Like that in our stuff.
Okay, yeah, the only thing I know of, it takes time. I know it's going so that does make up my mind. I will Kelly's class. I'll watch it.
Okay, I'll go on the cross. Okay, that sounds good. I will.
I can on my way into the process stop by.
Okay. I have to. So if you wanted to meet at the quick trip somewhere, that's like what you need to find a coffee shop or
You're adding a lot.
think of the coffee shop or something. Like 160. And then I can go over. And you guys could just kind of say, okay, I'm thinking based on this. It is fully renovated, and she does have space, like, extra space for everyone, but there's some commercial options right there.
Yeah,
And,
for sure.
but everything added on.
I just signed up, I just can't think of it, trying to figure out what it's all about. Sure, she's kind of going wrong. Maybe help.
So that's just kind of do your own research based on that drop. You know, kind of, you go from there and see, you know, how close you are and just kind of.
They gotta kind of have some idea that they're asking for all
So
these
then your price
things.
is going down.
They know, they just don't know how much.
You just sign up,
Okay,
Oh, what are we doing?
well, I was just going to help you, like, decide what you wanted your first campaign to be.
Okay.
And-
But you need to do that.
Well, I can do it in Realty Denver, because that's what you're gonna be using.
Yeah.
You can
You
figure
work
that out.
Salesforce, CRM, CRM,
you
Yeah,
know,
so similar to
a little
that,
bit.
yeah. but you can-
Whatever's the
you can
simplest for you to do.
Sync it with your phone, your
Have you started
calendar,
putting anything into
or
ES?
contacts in there, keep track of.
Oh, everything is.
Your goals, your contacts,
Oh, great.
you know, send out mailers if you want, you know, stuff like, it's very similar to this.
Sure, and I need to put that
For,
because I,
Right.
like I said, I got that
That's
dead
price.
air time, I mean,
That's easy to get into.
I don't even know that phone calls
What
are
I
not the way to
struggle
do
with
it now.
is I have a bunch of
Text
other
is the
tech
way to do it,
coming
messages,
together.
people don't want to talk to you.
You know, that's what I find out.
Everyone integrates
People
with
don't
Salesforce.
want to talk to you. I mean, you get it. So I always need a game before I start calling people.
well, I mean,
And
yeah, I
today
mean,
was a
that's,
fun.
yeah.
So it was easy
So
to
for
make,
that,
and
I'm just
we
like-
haven't had coffee for a while, so this was not a hard
Right.
thing to talk a little business and then,
Yeah.
and
So
when
that
we have
sucks.
coffee, she'll probably ask me questions.
Yeah.
Like, how do you like it? So I can
Yeah.
simply go in.
Right.
But I agree, so many.
Yeah, when I was, I mean, that's why I use those on websites and stuff.
Sure.
They're getting blocked.
I didn't
But
have to-
it's really,
I didn't have to pay
it's
for it.
really
It's part of
though
the-
about
you
mindset.
know, our
Like,
team had
I
it,
know
so-
For sure.
if I would have texted Tracy and
It
Amber,
should be.
Yeah, I'm not ever, I
I
wouldn't
mean,
do
I
that for
looked at it
initial
like, I think I
contact.
can get away
well,
with one
you know,
that's
these are people that I talk to every
$80
day.
$85. It's like
You know, so if I
75
would have
bucks a month
texted
plus you
them,
have to
they
pay
would have been
for
like,
an add-on, obviously, to get full API
And then
access
it
to that
couldn't
and
have
just
been a
tie it
meaningful
into other
interaction.
things.
Sure.
What I got from that
But
phone
then you can do
call
some attractive
was,
things, like
oh my
you
gosh,
can
I'm so glad we're actually
uh,
talking.
you
This is
do
what's
repeat
really going
call
on with me.
list.
I need to
You know,
go
so
in
you
a totally
basically
different
like pull up
direction
the call
and
list
look
in
at
the
this
computer.
location. That-
You know, you hit your
Okay,
headset,
great. I would
you
have
call
never
the
known
first
that.
person,
She's on an
you
MLS
hang up,
portal.
you call
She's
the
been kind
second
of dead,
person,
you know,
and
in
like,
there for
as
a month.
you're
So
doing
she's
that,
like,
it
well,
knows who you're calling, it knows
what's
how
going
long
on
you talked to them, it knows when you called them.
you
So
know,
keep
with
track of
your-
who calling.
I think you're on the right
Pops
track
up a
with your
notes
event
field, you
because
put your
our
notes,
database
well,
is
then
so fast.
you're just
And you gotta look at all these people are
So having
customers,
that, like,
they're already
Right.
bought.
synergy
Already bought.
everywhere,
And I wanna
really,
give something back,
very
and
Right.
say, you
Right.
know, that,
but then there's like in town,
about, I don't know, 6 months ago, I was invited to the Shit's party, and
it's
I
specific.
throw in, I'm like,
well,
it's
you
a
know,
realtor
there's
inviting
their
me,
own real
a
advantages.
team from,
No, how do you choose?
another place over there, they invited me to.
I have
some-
tried
The other place over there.
Eventually, I will weigh pros and cons.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's-
Yeah.
it's,
I don't pay
it's
attention.
wild.
Now I'm paying attention. At the time, I'm like, God, that's something I'd actually probably go to. I'm
Yeah,
free,
it's wild, man.
Right.
It's
you know,
really,
kind of
really
thing,
wild.
but then it was saying it's really
Yeah, they're
expensive.
not, you know, more choices.
You could do it for like 2 hours.
Harder.
Right. So how many
There's so
people
many.
do you want to
There
touch
are
and
so
invite
many.
to the event?
936.
Okay,
And
so
like,
if you could get
you know,
90
everyone
of, could you
uses
afford
the
to have
Mailchimp,
90
right,
of them
to send out
come?
mailings
Like,
and stuff
if
like that.
90 of them
And I
came,
like,
that would be,
again,
an
having integrations
amazing
with that, just
turnout.
integrations there.
I can afford to have long comp.
Start looking at these
And that
how much
kind
are
of thing,
these
but
worth?
Okay,
Yeah, right, that's where you gotta do break it up.
should I spend
How
that
you
much
use it.
money
So,
on this type of
and
thing?
it's not like the
You know,
other solution,
and,
this one's really
Well,
cheap,
what would
but
be
it's
your
not like
budget
most of
for
the
it?
other solutions are particularly cheap. I think the cheapest one's
I spent $560 just sending them all postcards, so they all know I'm a realtor.
right,
Yeah.
Or maybe they don't, they just threw it away, whatever.
right.
But
I don't know. I don't know.
I guess that when you ask me that question, I think
You know,
it's like,
like,
what
that's supposed to be
what
really
would it be
start
worth it
rocking.
for me to, like, instead of pick up the phone, go, I don't want to bother my buddy here, this
What you're
person,
hoping to do.
go, I'm gonna invite him to this.
Yes.
Right.
Be excited about it and call everybody on that list in 2 weeks.
I know when
Was
I was
that
listening,
worth
there was a lot of stuff I
thousands?
was not
Right.
using as a
Dollars.
Right,
salesperson.
exactly.
And it would
You
have,
know, to make me do it.
Doing pretty well, but there was a lot of
So I'm
advantages. so
kind of
forth
like,
that
what do I
I
do
just
for,
couldn't use it.
and she mentioned like.
It's a
Hive
big
thing,
software.
You go down Baker
and
Square,
they
you
do
can
things their way,
much
and
money,
like you have to
tell
get your head
people.
around
Go to
that.
Baker Square, when you get a
I mean,
chance, and you get a
to a
pie.
certain degree,
Yeah,
I
but
think
then you
that's
miss
like
the
all
interaction.
Right.
you know where you want to go.
So maybe what you do
You
is,
kind of have to
if there
understand
is sports
where
bar
they're
where
trying
you
to help
get a
you,
back,
Oh,
and
yeah,
like,
oh, yeah.
you can get.
you're like,
here's a
okay,
beer and
well,
popcorn.
But I mean,
Okay,
you still
yeah,
gotta,
what's your better
you still
idea?
gotta
You call
input it, you know,
Cambria.
in the middle.
oh, for sure.
They have a
And-
bar,
and-
a heated
Yeah.
bar, they have a big
I
screen
mean, I
TV
think
that
if you're
they'll
good
have the
at
sports
that,
on
and
board
you're
there.
good,
That's true.
Yeah, and they do have,
Trying to appeal to
but they have
just a
alcohol or
possibility that
pop or
correctly,
water.
then that's-
But the
that's
next
huge.
thing is that
I
is
mean,
in a
so-
setting that, kind of says
Have a
house.
Cambria event.
religious.
Cambria says
So if I get
house.
that in the mail and I
I
don't
mean,
drink,
that's
I'm
how,
not going.
I mean, my living
That's true.
No matter what you sold.
That's, but you
I'm
don't,
sure, like,
you
your
don't have to
bookkeeping
drink
is
at
gonna be on
And I don't
point.
want to be involved. I don't want to be.
Yeah, that's your, that's your issue.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
so
great.
And
that's-
I can't stand being around people.
When we don't
Yeah,
know what we're
that's
doing,
true.
we're
You're
down
stupid.
in this,
Yeah.
you know.
I hear what you're saying there.
So we
What
had
do
a
I know how
client
to do?
appreciation
Yeah, right,
event
right.
after
Yeah, exactly.
that was
That's
like
State
a-
Island, and
you know,
then,
and it was.
So you're like,
catered
oh
to,
man, it's
like,
my
small
cost,
bites.
look at my bottle,
Um,
I'm gonna do
orders
this
and
stuff,
things
right?
like
Like,
that.
cause that's like
And
the
it was
wheelhouse where I'm just like, I don't know.
And-
Yeah, sure,
Yeah,
advantage
bring in,
cost.
like, what demographics
Just
do
figure
we
that
have,
out,
and
give me an
bring in,
advantage
like,
down
a
the road.
balloon animal guide for kids,
Well, and I
or
think
something
that's-
like
Some
that.
people
I think
are
that's
fans.
what we're all gonna bring our little.
Or actually just call it
Yeah,
a client
comes with us,
appreciation
but
event.
those
I wanna invite you to
people
see what
feel
part of me,
like
now I'm selling houses.
For sure, man.
That's
So,
That's the way
I would do that. I would call
Yeah,
down there and get on there,
I'm trying to be very
and then all of your budget is going
methodical with
towards
my tech,
food,
because I feel like that's gonna set up a process.
texting
That
people,
process is.
Facebook.
Facebook, all of that.
Things.
Yep.
And when I say they have full bar there, what I'm also
I just
saying
got
is
a
that
phone
people
call. What do you
go
mind?
there.
Just look-
Sure,
Sure.
you tell them
Sure.
what kind of
I
value.
mean,
You know,
it's-
I don't
You get that, yeah, I'm not
Well, what I
drinking
can do for you is
Right.
find your
That's
realtor
what I
so I can
Well,
get
and
it.
then
if we create something that people are gonna say is a bar.
I think you can get a super realtor.
I,
Like,
now I'm on the other
just
side,
that.
I used to drink, I'd be like, oh, God, yeah, stop
dope.
and drink and,
Yeah, it does.
you know,
That
so,
does,
you know,
yeah,
and all
it
that
does.
stuff, and I would be all about that.
Where does he live in?
But now that I'm
Utah.
not, this is the last place in the world I
So-
would.
But Cambry's not a bar, it's where
I'm
Cambry
sure Keller Williams don't.
Right, it's a showroom, this is a showroom. So what I am
Or
saying
not.
is you're putting them in a whole new
Someone's out there
environment.
selling something
So now if you've
and
got
they will
somebody,
give me money.
this is
Yeah.
gonna get people's wheels
That's
turning.
happening.
If you've
Small
got
world.
somebody that's looking
So-
at a house to fix her up, or you're putting them in a staged area
That's-
that gives them ideas
you know,
on
that's that,
cabinetry,
and,
countertops,
Yeah.
lots of things.
Down the
They
line,
might
I'm
not
talking to a
buy
realtor
at
up in
Cambria,
the
but it
cities,
gets
who
those
I went
juices
to class
turning. If they're
with.
selling a
Oh,
house,
yeah.
but they need to
He's
maybe
at a
update it,
different
because
brokerage.
you're not putting them in a bar, you're not putting them in a pizza place,
I'm
you're
just
putting
like,
them in
dude, you
a
know, we went
place
to class together.
where
I'd
you're
rather
talking
keep my
housing,
business.
you're
Sure.
talking.
Down the road, that's
Decor.
not good. For now, no.
Right,
That does
right.
sound
And
good
that's
because
just it. I mean,
I'm
I
wanting
think-
all these people to come back and talk to
I
me
guess I don't know a lot.
and meet them again and see where they're at. But when I find out, you know, there's certain people that are gonna be in the
I'd rather you
that
forget.
that event sounds,
I'm good with
sounds like a
Well,
good, it's,
I mean,
they pay for it.
I shouldn't say like.
No,
No, I-
Cambria, I mean, I
I
think
mean, so like you said,
it
you
offers
know,
their
you went around to
space for
different-
free because it
Because they
brings
want
people
people
in.
Right. Right.
places,
And then
you
you
know,
can shape
when I
the
came here,
use their space and shape the event.
usually like,
How
oh,
you
really,
find
let me stop you.
And they're so cool too, because they'll ask how many people
I was
have
like,
coming in all those big slabs
Whatever
of
you think
of
is Gary
pork.
Kelly or
They'll move
whatever.
out into the
He's not-
aisle where the
yeah, he
hallways,
doesn't care
you're gonna
about
have
me,
more open
but
space
I
and
come
tables
over here,
and
I
that's
don't-
great.
so even if you go down there, you're gonna be like, well, where are these
Must be not
people?
his
Because
bad.
they have all their,
Yeah,
they
set
move
it
all
up.
that out.
And-
They have
Set it
beautiful.
up.
I don't expect him to, I'm not saying he
You
should.
know,
Right, right, right,
or
right.
maybe contact them
Let's
with
be
the
real
computers
here.
and say, hey,
I'm like,
could I rent this out at 10 a.m. on Saturday and show, you know, a movie and invite all my
Sure.
people
Like,
to
to me,
bring
as
their
a
families?
new-
You're standing at the door greeting them, giving them a flyer and, you know,
Yeah,
connecting.
these are people like,
So now let me.
there's nothing,
Go.
go.
Yeah,
Like,
not-
tell me.
They're all different.
Right, so what,
So-
So
Not
movie,
that
I mean,
They need
Uh-huh.
we're trying to get something universal that everybody's
Well,
gonna wanna
pizza.
come to, but then other people are telling me, you don't want to.
Yeah, and they do.
You
best.
use like the touching.
Okay, I get
what
where you're coming from.
I'm like, you don't want a lot of people. What's your aspect of that?
With
As
you,
many people
right?
as possible.
You tell me about you.
that would be my feeling, I think
What's
it's,
How you are.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
great
yeah.
if they come, it's great if they don't,
You're
you're still
with you. Tell me.
But what
I
the
don't
problem
know.
that I
Has he even never been?
there isn't an event that
Doesn't know where we're at.
appeals to all,
Yeah.
so, and that
Just
appeals
another
to no
number on
one.
a big.
So,
Even
in
if I
your
don't get to
mind,
you.
what would be an ideal event
No, I
in your mind?
So
The
I'm
one
like,
on
you tell me
the
about
pizza
you.
party
You really
at-
know what's going on.
Mr. Pizza,
And
no,
that's-
even though, when I got that,
So I
I'm like,
didn't-
yeah, but, you know, you can drink there if you want to, you know.
Not my mind.
Right.
Whatever,
Yeah.
but it's such a
I-
popular
Right,
place,
Yeah.
like
Uh-huh.
in my mind.
I came to work you guys and the teams.
It was an
Sure,
event
so
that
yeah, deals, but like,
more or less
as long as
everybody
people
would be interested in because
are
you bring
interested
your
in the
kids,
same
feed
thing I'm
your kids or
interested in, which is
whatever.
Right.
I don't know if that's true or not.
Getting
That's
everyone
what
to
I'm
have a
working towards, trying
transaction.
to find something.
Well, maybe what you could do is you could call them and say, okay, what can
There's
you
other
do for me
people's
for $5
goals,
a
being
head?
a broker of relationships.
I don't know, well, if you're bringing in large groups, they might have a board
They're
member,
good,
if
yeah.
they're getting,
Well, they're doing
a day of
good.
doing like a slice of pizza and a drink, it might be, you know.
Yeah.
Can I ask you,
Yeah, I drove up from the costume to
I'm,
that.
I mean, we go to Mr. President a lot just to eat,
Yeah.
we love for Mr.
Yeah.
President people.
And I
But,
had talked to
I think a lot of
my
people in
contact
Rochester,
in across.
were born and raised in this
Yeah.
area, you're
She was
Mr.
good.
Yeah.
people.
But I was so.
But it's
And I
noisy
went
in
around
there,
and
so I did
had
some
meetings
events
with
where
other,
our daughter is Olympic weightlifting and they've had end of year parties and
brokers
stuff there,
or
and
businesses.
it's,
You know, they
and
get
the
the
only
same
reason I'm saying
skill.
that is hosting this event,
But
one
you're
of the
right.
best ones I ever went to
I
when
just
I
felt like
was
these
older.
guys.
They would
good
actually
after
do them
training and stuff,
at
good support.
Godfather's Pizza,
But you
because
really
they had
work
their
for
own
yourself.
room,
Right,
so they
and
could
so,
go through the buffet, everybody
you know,
could do
pull
their
over the
thing.
internet,
And
a
then
bunch
we
of
went into
systems
this
picked
other
out.
dining hall, and it was private.
And
Now,
so,
maybe that's more
they
we wanna
offer
do if you're not gonna
more
get 90 people, because I mean, a
casual
lot of times
meetings
us, it was
on
maybe you got 20 or 30
for a
people that
partnership
showed up.
cost.
But the nice thing is everybody ate and socialized a little bit.
Coldwell,
with their
Berkshire,
coffee.
actually like
But
Berkshire, that was,
the
I almost
person
missed that.
hosting
road.
it, it gives them just a little time to talk and present
just
something.
super
Or maybe
Yeah,
this,
Steve
maybe you
Lovejoy
can
is
call them and say,
in
you
the
know what, I don't know if you're in
She's
the
out of
market
the
or not, which is
Yeah.
why I'm calling.
So.
But what I'm doing is I'm
Yeah, I
offering
met with her and her,
one-on-one
her man,
consults
her guy that.
for you to
Yeah.
come in to the office,
He's-
or
he's
I'll
good.
come to you.
I like him a lot, but
I liked our guy
And they
tremendously.
say, you know what, geez, I've got this little piece of land.
It's just too small. I think it's like
We set an
45
appointment.
people there. It's just
Or,
not.
you know, I
It's
don't,
not
but
very
our
big,
daughter
so I'm
is
like,
trying to
okay,
move
well,
down
you know, I
the
wanna
line.
show
Right.
people's open
Get the
houses,
conversation
I wanna,
Get the
you know, I wanna
conversation
get my
So
start.
maybe it's,
Sure.
you know, I'm setting these appointments between now
Well,
and when spring market really hits. to get to know how I can translate my car customers and help them.
What do I do?
You know, like,
I've got a lot of knowledge. on
Synergies
topics.
in the-
I want someone to, yeah, try my pump to get me
How to do
going.
that. I just started scheduling
Yeah,
belly
yeah, I
bellies
understand.
And if you
Five
took,
years in, you sell
you know,
60,000 a year.
935
You wanna
people
do world
and
class.
did that. You know,
No, perfect. So
I
you
think
do
you
that,
have to schedule good
you know,
It's funny because
when
like,
that's,
I got
the
everything
cycle of
from
life and when I'm
this
selling
person bought 5
60
cars
cars
for
a
me.
year.
I give them my car keys or my wallet if they needed them.
I will,
I know that person's
I'm
not
gonna pass it on.
You know,
Uh-huh.
or this person liked me and then they had car trouble, now they hate me.
Right.
So I got all of those and I'm
Right.
trying
It's
to,
like that's the way every company, you know.
deep down, I don't wanna ask for anything more.
Finance when you're.
I wanna give them something now.
Right,
You know,
right.
when you start that person, thank you so much for getting me to this position where I take doors to jump into this new career. Obviously, I'm not gonna have time, it's not very long, you know,
Right.
He's got other things.
I was
to
gonna
worry
say, so
about.
when you do that event,
Yeah, so,
basically saying
you know,
hi and bye
same
and talking to them.
in real estate.
They're not gonna understand, you can't start to talk to a lot of people.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm just
Show
trying
up a
to
bunch
think
of
like,
events
we
or a
had
bunch of
our
opens
last.
or whatever you're trying to do, it's really
last
just,
event, we had our-
yeah, and you'll face out there and get that started
Yeah,
for
we can
you,
have a lot of 5-minute
It's so
conversations over
you can
a
get to the
3-hour
place
period.
where you
Did you
have too
notice
much to
that,
worry
like,
about, you can't do
A lot of
that.
the time, people want to
Yeah.
talk too long, they want to come in and whenever you're offering.
Right.
I don't know, it was different because it was client appreciation and the whole point was to
We'd be happy to do right
have a
now.
little bit of
Right.
food and then,
And so,
you know,
Yeah,
so it's kind of like a graduation party.
you know,
that's
So
kind of what I'm
right,
saying.
right,
If you
exactly,
want to stay, you can.
Yeah, if you want
If you want to come and go,
Exactly.
thank you,
There's no
we'll see you
pressure.
later.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
and
And
most
that's
of
exactly
you
how it was.
agent at this
I
point.
just view that venue
I mean, I'm not
as
the
a
team.
tie-in.
I'm
No,
just
no,
Everybody comes there.
so I just moved
They
here.
receive value, it's an expensive.
I'm like,
for
I
you.
know a
mean,
solid
it's cost
zero
involved.
people.
It's just down to
Yeah, right,
your
right, right.
I know.
You know, all of
No,
that,
like,
So, I
you're
would-
influence. I'm like,
go that direction.
that's my girlfriend
Yeah.
and my dog.
Yeah.
So, and they're just like,
I want to show you one more thing.
Okay.
I'm working with my
You know,
lender too.
Okay.
yeah, big phone calls.
Wondering if I can incorporate him and have.
To who?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know anyone.
Oh, and then
That's
that's fine.
Yeah, and like, people are like,
Are you worried?
no, no, I'm not. It will work out.
Postcards, you gotta order.
I can,
Anything else you can, they.
you know, so I just went through buying a house here. I went through,
We did what, 8
high profile realtor in town,
So then you got this
who was
design.
just very easy
You
to
can
find,
go
he's well
in.
advertised, sells a lot, whatever, and
Really
I
hard guys.
just like.
So I can show you.
Yeah, you did.
Right,
Yeah.
sometimes
He
they-
decided to make these up for
Yeah.
us.
They're
Uh-huh.
just.
He was bringing these
there,
to
so like I
so
already did
we
that.
take a
Pretty,
little
pretty much.
commission.
I've got some of my
Um,
company in
George-
here, but,
And we're doing this for
Trying to find a new realtor.
These type
So
of
for
things,
instance,
I
priorities.
just went through a lot of things.
select
These type
real
of things.
estate,
So
do
I
real estate
was
experts with me, so I typed up all
He
of
prints
this.
them out.
So I just took a template that I
Okay.
kinda like,
The
and
schools,
revised
you
it
put
to
out
fit me.
bullets,
Yeah.
boards, and things like that.
Okay.
And now that
In
one,
my mind, I
and
think.
you edit and
doing
edit.
So,
he is, so
I don't
at
worry
this
about
point,
my
he's
dog.
like, whoa,
Yeah.
Because I know I can do this.
he's benefiting, I'm
forceful, or that,
very
you know, I gotta.
aware, he's
But when
benefiting
you're
from it.
done
When-
editing,
Of course,
I
I'm
just
like,
don't
Now,
know.
this
I'll
guy's
get the postcards once you're done editing.
Right.
So,
Oh, right,
you guys
right,
just
right.
sure,
So-
you have this event.
At least I.
when I look at this, I'm just like,
They're like,
So now,
Yeah.
I don't.
okay, so I'll show you
learn
edit.
quite just exist.
Yeah, they, I would
It
love
comes
to
up like
offer you
this,
that.
and it shows you where you can, like, it'll do this. So here's what you can change here, you can change your color, you can do whatever you want. Here, I wanted to highlight some stuff, I can highlight, I can change colors. And then here, there's a spot to upload.
They're not.
This I just changed to my
Right.
stuff.
Well, I would tell you.
Automatically
But I know I
automatically
can
do.
do
Double check.
some things a lot better.
Most of it's right, and this is automatically on it, and, that's on it, now that doesn't fit from your.
Well, I would-
for that,
well,
I have tried.
There's segments
He
of
is
market
legislating
that
this city,
And I need that.
your preferred lender.
is not
Yeah,
very
it
good
is.
with.
So maybe
Right.
someday I should.
So-
know
That's
all
enough.
that. I just-
I can live off the
You
segments.
do something
right there.
but not really
And the same with everyone else. right?
Yeah, and I
can
do
do
not,
this.
I do that, one
Big.
way, so just say, bring a flyer,
But I know
about
they
all
very
that,
well
that's
looked
what you're
after.
doing.
When it's done.
Well, you gotta, I mean, your girlfriend worked
And
at
like,
that.
I did
That's
emails.
a good
So,
answer.
Their idea.
when I get back in with the program, like,
That's really.
And then I can offer more,
but I,
and
She's got to be more of a
Right,
Yeah,
that's
They
got,
come to
right.
us, it's money.
Yeah,
Create-
exactly,
create
and,
marketing
I
materials.
don't feel like there's that value because
I
you
agree.
can have.
And then we
home
can-
buyer
And then
checklists,
when
Not-
you can have,
I don't have
stuff
family
for people that are
plan.
transitioning.
See,
These
here's
are kind of
what
demographics.
I don't do that.
These are some elderly people
So I've
that are
got good
transitioning
marketing.
their legacy, or they're downsizing.
And
you know,
pretty smart.
And then you can see like here, here's.
So you
Yeah,
come up
so I
with
mean,
stuff that-
100
I wouldn't
kids.
do
you
all
can
this
write
little
it.
everything.
Whether you're
Right,
gonna do
I wouldn't
right.
even know this stuff.
Okay.
you wanna do.
So
And
this
then
is the
here's
first
like
time.
how
Narrowed it
it's
down.
Right, right.
So, you know,
That's
we
why I
don't want
was talking
these like,
about
we don't want
how
to
she lives, you know,
you
it's
just
good.
unplug them
Yeah,
and then
let's just,
then put
I
down.
know I'm a realtor.
Yeah, that's right, but what
But
we're
I
saying
just
is
really
value
like.
comes in.
Yeah.
I did the guides, I had my.
Yeah, I mean, she's just, you know, she's
And I
just
went
in
and
year
worked
one,
in
internal
each
med.
and then what I
So
did
she's
So
gonna
that's
check
part of
was
it.
internal med.
They
customized it to
offer their space
some
at
of
night after hours.
She can do what, you know, what that
I do
offers.
charts and all this and that.
So you can go down there on Broadway and check it out. And you'll like,
So you can.
So it's
say
just
word or
I don't
number.
think she's
but that's
got
what I would do, every night your letter cover, that's
I
everything you
don't
just
think
edited.
so far she's like
And
that. She's terrible.
put that database
And she has a lot of
And then I
rotations to
found
go.
do it, so I did,
Yeah,
all
how
I
is
just.
it?
She's about 3 years for
I have a little one.
she does
But
2
this
periods of
one works.
sports.
Yeah.
It's gonna take me a while to
Commercial, it's
understand.
heavy duty, so I work them at.
Right.
Every
Cardiology is.
Yeah.
Along with
I
the
do
one,
I do it
yeah.
before,
But
stop,
you need a
nice
fourth
one.
year,
You
you
have
gotta
a
do
little
it.
spiral, you
Yeah.
binder, so you don't need
So
to, these are.
you're here for at least
Yeah.
3
Want it
years.
to be
I'm
not
here
heavy, but
somewhere
just
between
one right
another
there.
2
So I did.
and
I
7
have it
years.
by like
But I did
5
Or
or
more.
Yeah.
So, and then 4 more is
And they don't feel like they have to.
there may be a
hire,
requirement
have,
that we may or may not be
And I
doing
am
by the
like,
federal
like,
government
state
that
or
if you
not,
stay
you know,
here
older
10 years,
than
if this
things.
is or
Some
isn't
things,
designated
they
a
want to feel
potentially
like you
underserved
met
and
with
or
initially,
rural
that
area
you're
of medicine that we
you know,
may or may not get a credit that may or may not exist in the future to help pay down loans.
Loans.
Not usually.
Right.
Got it.
And
So I'm
There's,
big
the
into
program
doing
is fairly new.
something, especially.
There's not a lot of
initially I
information about what
first-
qualifies, and,
I know
that's
that
the way
sounds
to go.
weird.
there's a lot
I
of
would
questions
like-
about its,
Sure.
And that's an example of
No.
a strong direction.
yeah, you got $500,000 in that, that's kind of nice that.